Hello.
Hi, Gregor.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's really nice to see you here.
Same. Nice to see you again. How are you?
We are fine, thank you. And I saw that there are more than 40 of us here in the webinar, so I thank you all for being here. My name is Jarek Mäestu. I'm part of the FitBack Consortium, and I will lead this webinar and try to hold the speakers in their time limits. So just some words about the home rules. At first, please note that this webinar will be recorded. And if you're now participating, you are now just giving a small consent that you will be included in the recording, which can be shared for the educational purposes. And if you have any concerns about that, so please let us know. As our schedule is really tight, we will proceed immediately with the presentations. And I want to notice also that we will leave the questions at the very end of the webinar. We have dedicated some time there. So please, if you have any questions to the speakers, please write them in the chat so that we can collect them up there. Or in case there is less questions in the chat, there is also hopefully some time for having the personal questions also in the end. So if everything is okay, I guess I can call up with a first speaker, who is Professor Francisco Ortega from Faculty of Sports Sciences, University of Granada. And he will have a talk on the scientific backbone on the FitBack platform. So please, Fran. And we see your screen, please.
Can you see my screen? Very good. Okay, thank you very much, Jarek and Gregor. And yeah, I would go very directly to this is the presentation index. We'll do a very short introduction. Then I will talk about which fitness tests should be used and why, and what is the scientific background or supporting of the FitBack platform. So about the introduction, I just presented very shortly that it has been more than 20 years of accumulating evidence that fitness levels is related with multiple health outcomes. And we did some systematic reviews in 2008, in 2009, including prospective studies and showing that not only there is a cross-sectional association, but also prospectively, the level of fitness of kids or adolescents predict the future health outcomes. Many prospective longitudinal studies accumulate later on. And in 2020, the American Heart Association did a statement indicating that cardiorespiratory fitness is an important marker of health, and also similar systematic review process like this one I'm showing. In 2019, they also reviewed the evidence that muscular fitness is also an indicator of multiple health outcomes in the currently and in the future. So definitely there is an association with health, with physical health, but also there is tons of paper actually supporting that fitness is an indicator of mental health, and also is related with brain structure and function, as well as cognitive performance, as well as academic performance. So definitely there is a strong support that by evaluating fitness, we are evaluating health, and therefore it's important. And but which test should we use and why? So some years ago, the European Commission funded the Alpha project that had as an objective to standardize measurement of physical activity and fitness. We work mostly on the fitness part. Here's an old picture from Michael Shoston, was the coordinator, and myself and Jonathan Ruiz were secretary of this project at that time. And the purpose was, okay, we have many test batteries available. Some are used more in some regions of the world, and others are used in other regions. But the key question is, we want to measure cardiorespiratory fitness or aerobic capacity. We have more than 15 different fitness tests available. So which of them is better? And better means more valid, more related, more reliable, more repeatable, more related to health, safe, feasible, and so on. So because there was no such evidence-based process until that moment, we did the Alpha project that included As you can see in the screen, some systematic reviews on predictive, health-related predictive validity, criterion validity, reliability, and we did that for the different fitness components, for cardiorespiratory fitness, motor fitness, and body composition. And also we found some gaps, so we needed to do some methodological studies, and we did so. So altogether was supervised by an international expert group, and altogether end up with a high priority evidence-based fitness test battery proposal for the 20 meters and run test for evaluating cardiorespiratory fitness, hang grip, and standing long jump for musculoskeletal fitness, and weight, height, and waist circumference for body composition. This is supported, as I say, by evidence, about 20 different papers that they are available for that, supporting that proposal. But that summary of the project was done in 2010, 11, and 1 year later, a similar systematic review process was conducted in North America by the Institute of Medicine, and they concluded proposing exactly the same test. So that was good because it was consensus, the evidence is out there, whoever review it will end up with the same test, but we didn't know whether these tests are actually well accepted, feasible, commonly used, and also different regions in the world believe that they are the best tests that we can use. So we did this Delphi consensus project. We invited more than 200 experts and 169 from 50 different countries and territories replied to the survey to ask if these are the best tests, and also if the protocols that we were proposing were the best. So these are the countries participating, and this is just the infographic summarizing the study. But basically, the proposal was height, weight, 20 meters and run, hang grip, and standing long jump. And you can see in these yellow bars that in the different regions of the world, in the different continents, in all cases, everybody agreed with more than 85% consensus that these are the best tests with all these psychometric properties that we have explained it before. So it seems to be a global consensus on which test would be used. And then for the feedback platform, we wanted to give a report. We wanted to give feedback regarding the fitness levels of the people. And we wanted to do that in a double dimension. One is how the participant is compared with people of same age and sex. That means reference value feedback, but also how it's related with health-related cut points. So for that, we did two different articles. One is this. So we gather all fitness data that we were able to manage to gather from all different parts of Europe, and put all this data together, accumulating about 8 million data points to generate the reference values in curves, in tables, in very precise table by every single day of life and sex. And we integrated this into the platform so that when a person entered the result of the jump, or the standing long jump, it will compare with these European reference values to provide a very precise estimation of how the person is compared with people of the same age and gender. But also, as I say, we wanted to give a health-related interpretation. So this is just very recently published, and what we did basically was to look at the literature, at the evidence for health-related cut points, and then we identify some of them for the different measures, so that we could say this value is in a higher or lower healthy zone based on these health-related cut points. But there was gaps. Maybe we have health-related cut points for the adolescent, but not for children, or for one gender, but not for the other. So there were gaps. And what we did was to use our own reference value to extrapolate curves so that we could cover the whole spectrum from the age of 6 to 18 years old and be able to give a health-related feedback. In this article, we provide actually the cut point for all this with all the extrapolated data in the supplementary. So everything is free for use for anybody. So thanks to this, now we have a report like this, where somebody entered the results of, for instance, standing long jump, a person for a certain age and gender for 94 centimeters. And then it has this bar with the red, yellow, and green indicating better related to health. And there is a text depending in which zone it is, what should be done for improving. But also there is this phase with the points from 0 to 100 that is equivalent to the percentiles based on the reference value. So we are giving this double feedback, health related and percentile related, of how the person is. Okay, but also in addition, we tested this feedback platform for usability, and we included teachers, physical education teachers, or people doing involved in fitness testing in youth, but also students. And the conclusion was that this platform seems to be clear, user-friendly tool, and it got really high score in usability scale. Finally, in the feedback platform, we also published an additional paper explaining very carefully the existing fitness monitoring systems in Europe, and also providing, based on the previous experiences of these fitness testing and monitoring and surveillance systems, a 10-step proposal of how somebody, a region or a country who want to involve fitness testing in the future, which steps would follow to kind of get that achievement. So these are the 10 steps that you can find in the webpage of Feedback Platform, as well as in these references tab. Oh, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Fran. It was just on time, but as our home rules were set, we leave the questions until the end. And it is now my great pleasure to invite the next speaker, who is Professor Gregor Jurak from Faculty of Sport, University of Ljubljana. And Gregor is the head of the consortium and unfortunately responsible of all what has happened with the FitBack and the tools that we are currently have. So Gregor, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jarek, and also thanks to Fran, who really very well introduced the work that has been done until the beginning of the next project, and actually what I will start to present and my other co-worker speakers will present is the work that has been done in the past 2 years. Namely, when we established this fitness assessment with FitBack, we somehow provided a good ground for fitness assessment, but another issue is how to involve this in educational setting. Therefore, with the FitBack Toolkit, which is the main result of this new project, this is FitBack for Literacy, we believe that we can provide the, let's say, also the missing piece, which is between somehow the health public perspective and educational perspective on physical fitness monitoring. So I will try first to present what we actually have addressed with this project. So on the one side, we have a big enthusiasm on fitness evidence, which comes from the public health. And we know that in some countries on educational field, we have some skepticism on using fitness testing. And this is actually the situation that we have to face and we have to address. But of course, fitness monitoring is the best in school setting. Why? Because all children are involved. We also have a good experts over there, so physical education teachers. And so while public health is convinced that fitness is the best health indicator in youth, and also that how important it is to conduct studies to exchange to assess changes in fitness, and also to use fitness surveillance to inform decision making, so they are pretty convinced that this is really good thing. On the other side, we have also in educational field some experts who believe that fitness testing can lead to stigma among students, and therefore it should not be assessed in school, as well as that it's dependent on so many factors that cannot be modified in PE. And also there is one paradigm which is associated with physical literacy, which also says that that this physical literacy journey is quite unique, and there is no need to be benchmarking for students. So, but this is the reason why in our consortium in FitBack we believed that we have to address this issue and to find the solution, because we strongly believe that physical fitness monitoring and physical literacy have common ground, and it should be not to exclude each other, but to find the cross section and to see how this can be integrated to benefit the student. So both of these phenomena, so physical fitness monitoring and physical literacy, is happening in school setting, especially in physical education. And first, we have to define what we are talking when we are talking about the fitness monitoring. So first, we have to know that fitness monitoring is not fitness testing. So it's not like one-time measurement point to assess the fitness, but it's rather to observe, check the progress of fitness over a period of time for a specific purpose, to also provide a feedback on some kind of exercise, treatment, intervention. So you can already see that there is here a connection with physical literacy, because in physical literacy, of course, this cognitive domain is very important, that students understand why we are doing something, why we are progressing or not, and also to see if something have been achieved with some kind of treatment. And of course, the third part or third phenomena here is fitness surveillance. Fitness surveillance is different of if we compare to fitness monitoring, is complementary, but fitness surveillance is actually oriented more to for health policy, public health policy, because it's actually provide the generated data on the higher levels. For instance, lower level could be school, and higher level, of course, country or even the continent. So fitness monitoring is also very well connected with the processes that we have in PE. So fitness assessment is just the first phase, which could give us a ground to for planning. So we have this fitness results feedback, and this is really important, not to having fitness assessment just per se, but having some feedback which can be useful for teacher as well as, of course, students and his or her parents. And based on this, we are setting goals. Based on goals, we are designing plan. Then we are performing exercise. We are tracking progress, and this is also ground for understand the changes. So changes can be understood as a proper setting of goals, and then how we actually design the plan and perform the exercise. So here is a cross-sectional with this perspective of physical literacy. So first, fitness testing should not be just one more school assessment. This is very important, that students as well as teachers, of course, understand that this is an ongoing process which gives you some kind of feedback. But this feedback could be divided in, let's say, three different parts. So feed up to understand the test score. So feedback, which actually provides us a good information to setting a goal, and feed forward to the action. Based on these three parts, actually also the information which is provided in feedback reporting system is constructed. So to provide all these three parts. And this is very much associated with the physical literacy journey. We believe that the person who will have some kind of capacity also when it comes to physical competence, where we have a really close interaction between fitness and motor skills, can have some kind of attitude and motivation for physical activities. And therefore also he or she can develop also the understanding why, how he or she can also be physically active and how changes can be achieved. Next, I will try shortly to present you the logic of this toolkit, and I will skip to the platform. So I will now shortly end with this PowerPoint and go to the platform to present you these features interactively. But just to say that this toolkit is for PE teachers mostly. Some contents can be also shared with mostly adolescents. However, the main target group are PE teachers, as well as, let's say, coaches who can use also the topics of this toolkit. So we have already now this toolkit supported with subtitles. You will see of these video animations in 15 languages, and the whole content is already now in 6 languages. We have 11 scenarios how to use fitness monitoring to enhance physical literacy, and these scenarios then they are actually referring to 22 topics. So this is the idea of the of this toolkit, and now I will switch to toolkit. First, I will have to stop the share because I have to share also the sound to present you the one of the scenarios.
Hey, did you hear we've got fitness testing next week in PE class?
Yeah, I know. The teacher mentioned it at the start of the school year, and he reminded us last week too.
I'm so pumped. Are you excited?
Absolutely, I'm excited to see my progress from last year. I've been so active. I've joined track and field and did some serious mountain hikes with my family on weekends.
Wow, that's cool. I followed the workout plan the teacher gave me based on last year's results. I've tried hard. I felt awesome after workout, not getting out of breath as quickly as before. And I figured training clears my head. I am also expecting some progress.
I'm surprised these kids are so excited about next week's fitness testing. In my first year of teaching, I wasn't expecting that. I thought kids are afraid of testing.
I get your surprise, but don't believe these myths. Creating a positive environment and showing kids how they can learn and benefit will motivate them. It's not just about results, it's about how you use the information.
Okay, that sounds great. But, honestly, I have no idea how to begin.
Don't worry, I know you've just started teaching. Let me tell you how to do it right. Before I start with details, you should remember 2 important things. First, never grade kids based on fitness test results. The purpose of fitness testing is to help kids monitor and understand their somatic and motor development, and make sure they acknowledge that these aspects are also influenced by everyday behavior and genetics. Second, it's also crucial to remember that fitness test results are personal information and teachers should not post them publicly. Additionally, kids don't need to compare their results with others, if they don't feel comfortable sharing them. Instead, the focus should be on comparing them to those from previous years.
Noted, I understand.
Now, when we talk about physical fitness in school, education comes first. We need to follow the 7-step fitness education process to improve kids' physical literacy.
Okay, that sounds interesting. But what is fitness education?
Fitness education involves helping students understand the physical fitness components, training principles, the correlation between fitness and health or cognitive function, identifying crucial physical activities for developing each fitness component, and recognizing the impact of consistent practice on performance.
Sounds comprehensive. Please tell me more about this.
Absolutely. Students learn basic fitness concepts to understand what they'll learn and how testing helps. Keep explanations simple for younger kids. Older ones can grasp more complexity and learn to improve specific fitness components. Drawing from my experience, I ensure kids understand the information from individual test results.
Got it. Do I have to train them in testing tasks?
No, we do not explicitly train kids to achieve better results. However, they do try each test shortly before testing, and we do teach them how to complete each testing task correctly. This is the second step. A part of this step is also informing kids about how and when the
Okay, can you hear me now? Yes, okay. So I will not go through the whole video because there is too much. I will now try to present you the logic which is behind the materials that we have created, and also some of other topics will be presented later on by other presenters. So our group has struggled in the first year to define what should be presented and how this should be presented, and then we piloted this among the PE teachers, and the final idea actually was to present some really important topics, and we defined which topics this should be and also how this should be structured, and we came up with the following solution. So a friend previously showed you this fitness report and monitoring fitness as well. We have also this fitness map, which is showing the fitness status, fitness landscape of European countries. Here, between the fitness report and fitness monitoring, you have a toolkit. So this toolkit is actually comprised for 4 main topics. This is physical fitness, physical literacy, the power of feedback and exercise, while we also have these scenarios. So scenarios are presented on a different level of cognition. So we have, for instance, just the declarative level, so knowing some facts, and then we have a procedural level. This is more comprehensive, and there's also conditional level, so how to solve also some new problems independently. So this is not these scenarios are not all on the same level. Therefore, in each scenario, for instance, you have also description about the level, as well as how this scenario could be used, how many hours you would have to devote to, for instance, this scenario. For instance, we have here how to create a supportive classroom, also using some peer support, and here is the cognitive level is procedural, and scenario should be performed, for instance, in 12 or 24 weeks. And using this scenario also is associated with following topics which are mentioned below. So measuring fitness, so what is fitness and physical literacy, how to create interactive report, how to set exercise goals, and how can I improve my physical fitness. And each of the topics presented in toolkit is with this animation, and this animation can be also be subtitled with different languages. For instance, if I go here, sorry, so I can set here, for instance, some so you can see that I can also set subtitles, for instance, in also languages who are not so widely used. For instance, we have this narrative part in these main languages. So you can use, for instance, Italian, and then you have also subtitles in other language, or you can use English and have subtitles in a language that we are currently provide. At the end of this presentation, Casper will present you how you can also support in your own language. So it's not hard to perform this, and we are offering this as a free service within the scope of this project. So going back to the presentation of the toolkit, each topic is also presented in the way that we have a short text which follows the video, as well as references, just those who are the most important ones. And then, of course, within the navigation, you can enter then other topics and other scenarios. You can see that these 11 scenarios are really different ones, and if possible, we want to develop some more new scenarios in next years. Also, other users can suggest some more scenarios. And then 4 different topics are divided in also on subtopics. For instance, we have here exercise, how to go from diagnosis to exercise, PE lessons planning, as well as using chatbots. So in current version of this feedback interactive report, we upgraded this report also that we can communicate with chatbot, and this will be presented later on by Gianpaolo. What to say more about the toolkit? So this toolkit provides different ideas to PE teachers how fitness monitoring could really support the physical literacy journey. So it is there are some pedagogical also principles how this can be achieved. This is also visible, for instance, with these scenarios, like also inter-level fitness activity, as well as, for instance, how to involve the parents, peer support, etc. So we have several kind of scenarios as well as different kind of topics, but according to the limitations of the time we have, I will stop at this end and give floors to my other colleagues to present you the use of other parts of the platform. So this is all from my side now, Jarek. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Gregor. Right on time. And before giving the floor to our next speaker, I also encourage you to put some questions in the chat if you have for the presenters of the meeting. So our next speaker is from University of Bolzano and Faculty of Education, and it's Professor Attilio Carraro, and he's going to speak about the individual report that we also improved during this part of the of our project. So please, Attilio, the mic is yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jarek. Thanks for introducing. I'm just passing the word to Gianpaolo. He's sitting on my back here in the same room to introduce you this part of our webinar. Thanks, Gianpaolo.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. I will briefly show you the feedback individual report and some new features that we have introduced recently. If someone is still sharing the screen, so if you can stop, then I can share mine. Okay. So this is the main web page where you can find the fitness report, and clicking here, you can find the Make Interactive report. Then when you go on this page, you find the entry form available in 15 languages. You include the personal information. The students or you can include their personal information. Here I included some fictitious data of a possible student. And then the student can include their data, height, weight, and based on what they include, they receive an information about the body mass index. They can include also their waist circumference and all their results in the other tests, the 20-meter shuttle run, the standing long jump, and the hand grip. And based on their results, they receive a feedback, which is yellow for if they need an improvement, red if they strongly need an improvement, or green if they are in the fit zone. And beside here, we have some of the new features, which are the advices that they can receive. Clicking here, we go, clicking on this icon, we can go here and we can receive, for example, information on how to improve the body composition, available in 15 languages, as well as muscular power, muscular strength, cardiorespiratory fitness, and ideas also to how improve your school-based interventions. And another new feature that we have is the prompt for the chatbot. If you click on this one, you receive, I zoom out a bit. Okay, so you can see the whole screen. This window opens up, and here you can modify some options. For example, you can ask the exercise plan for 2 months. And you can generate a prompt to be copied and pasted on a chatbot to receive further information. Clicking on generate prompt, you generate the prompt and is already copied on your PC. You go on the chatbot, you paste the information, you click on enter, and you receive some advices on how to improve, in this case, body mass index for a 12-year-old boy, and waist circumference. You have also further options here. You can set the language of the prompt in all the 15 available languages. And this is all from our side. I give the floor to Jarek. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Ciao Paolo. And I see that there are questions also going on in the chat, and Gregor and Bojan answering them also there. I think we can still post those questions later also, because we have time. So, but we go on with our next speaker, and it's João Magalhães from Faculty of Human Kinetics, University of Lisbon, and he's going to present what advancements we have made in developing a new class report. So please, João.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here. Thank you also, Gregor and Jarek, for presenting me. We will be talking about how to unlock exercise potential with FitBack class report. We will try to do this in a more practical way, so we will jump directly all the way to the feedback side. And from here, we will try to actually go and follow through how to make a group report, hands-on approach exercise. So, as actually Gianpaolo was actually showing on the feedback site, you have several tabs that you can actually explore. I do invite you to actually take a closer look to the site, but we're actually interested on how to make a group report. So if you want to do this specific group report, you just go and click the tab. In here, you have the option to actually make a group report up to 40 kids. You do have instructions how to use them and how to read this specific report with the specific hyperlinks. But most importantly, and starting from the beginning, what you have to do is just download this specific Excel data template. You can actually download it here. I've already downloaded it. And just to show you, but I think you're quite accustomed like to these specific types of Excels. You probably do have them on your physical education classes for your specific students. You just have to adapt them to the specific form. Just fill it out, your IDs and nicknames are optional, the name of your kids, just put the date of birth, genders, and so on. Just be sure that you're actually following up the instructions on how to actually adjust the cells and their specific template itself. For instance, here, just to be selecting gender, you can put male or female, or choose from the drop down. On height, be careful because you have to put it in centimeters, and there's a specific limit above which or below which you cannot actually, or it will not be computed by the platform. The same goes for weight and every single test, and what's the specific measurement and in terms of unit that are being used. For instance, shuttle run, it will be on stages, and there's a precision of 0.5 on each one, and it goes as well for standing long jump and hand grip. For the sake of time, I've actually filled it out on my side with a given example of a class with every single student here listed up. And just to make it a little bit more realistic, we do have some missing data because we do know that actually happens on our specific classes. But you have the date of testing, you have all the information filled out. So the next step, you just go to the platform, and on the platform, you just upload your information to the site itself. There you go, straightforward. It's already listed. So we will upload this information, and straight away, we are given the ability to actually choose what will be the periods for setting the fitness scores. This is actually a really important feature from the platform, since it allows you to actually choose which window do you actually want to have your specific health-related targets set. What do I mean by this? It's quite simple. So if we actually want to go here, and let's say Amelia, the birthday is coming in like 9 days. So it's March 22, her birthday. And if I would be choosing a given option here of setting these fitness scores on 0 months, I would have our targets set for the present, for present age. And we do know that the specific targets are age adjusted. And some of them are on a monthly basis, such as BMI. Others are on a year basis, such as hand grip, standing long jump, and also the shuttle run. So we can actually choose and play a little bit with this specific option. And let's say I want to have another assessment in 3 months, and I do want to know which targets does this like Eva actually have to achieve by then, or on a 6 months, on a year month, or you can actually just play around and do it on a custom basis, on a monthly, on a weekly, and you can actually just play around. But most importantly, what kind of information do I have for myself and for my student on what targets are expected from her? So you can actually play around with these specific options. And from here, you either have the option to download the group report as a whole, or just download the individual reports individually. So you can actually go and choose the same thing that actually Gianpaolo was just showing on the previous presentation. But we do want the group report. It may take a while. It depends on the number of participants or students you do have on your Excel sheet. Just trying to make a little bit of small talk while it actually processes this. And there you go. It's done. I already have it here on my desktop. I would just go open up the report. And from here, and starting from the beginning, we have 3 types of report. We have the class report, which is nothing more, nothing less than every single student listed with their results and their specific targets. And we do have this information on a color-binded, friendly user way. So we do have like Amelia, Eva, and if I want to know if they're actually on the fit zone, on the red or yellow zone, I do have it instantly, this information really accessible to see, and which target does this specific student need to achieve if they want to progress to the next zone. So for BMI, Amelia does have her BMI on a yellow zone. So in order to actually progress to the next zone, she would have to have 23.8. And this goes on So for instance, for standing long jump, she has 115 centimeters. For the next target, she would have to have 122. So we do have this information straight away. We can actually go and scroll and see our specific class. How do they behave on each of the specific tests? If I do want to have some little bit more information, I can directly go and see how Amelia behaves on an individual level. And it's the same report that Giampaolo actually showed us. And we have the information by centiles if we do want to have a little bit more information on or beyond that of the health-related targets that we do have here. So progressing from here, we do have the next report, which is structured by health risk zones. This is more like a group report. We do have the information of the percentage of our class and how much do they actually, boys and girls are distributed for the fit zone, the yellow zone, and the red zone. And we can see straight away which tests are actually lagging behind and where we as a group need to improve to have our scores a little bit more on the fit zone. So I can see straight away that standing long jump, more than 2/3 of the class are actually either on the yellow or red zone. So if I would like to plan my class accordingly, I would try to devote some of my time to see if it's actually like a technique issue or it's just the power strength thing that we need to work upon my class. But straight away, I can see this is where I'm actually lagging behind. So kind of like on a hammer or scalpel approach, we can actually choose more like a broad group kind of graphic, or we can actually go and for the last report and go for more like a more individualized and trying to see which students are actually lagging behind. And we can actually do so by using the distribution of scores report. On this specific report, we do have individual students laid down and plotted. We have this information in terms of the median values of my group and also the first and third quartile representing the 25th and 75th centile of our specific class. So from here, we can see which ones are outliers and improving and are beyond that of the mean or even the 75 centile of the class, but also those who are actually lagging behind. So if I would see that Eva itself, let's say, was a kind of like an outlier on this more individualized approach, I can go and see that this person needs to jump, or this one can actually jump to go to the yellow zones, and I would like to work them on individual level and assign them, let's say, some kind of like homework or some specific instructions on how can they actually improve their shuttle run tests or standing long jump or either one of the tests specifically. So it's kind of like the scalpel and hammer approach, more group based or individualized based. And you can actually go and use this specific report, which is kind of rich in terms of information. Just to wrap it up and coming back a little bit more to the PowerPoint presentation, this is how you can actually make your group report. Take your time to explore it. Use the specific Excel file that we have there, fill it out, and use the report. But most importantly, and just putting more of these on a translational basis, you do have the information here to set the foundations for the assessment of your physical fitness on your specific class. From here, and as actually Gregor was saying and laying down, you do have a toolkit with a lot of scenarios and also a lot of backup videos that will actually increase your specific portfolio of options on how to work with your specific class, either being using the specific the specific toolkit scenarios on such examples on how to set smart goals for yourself or others, using artificial intelligence tools for fitness exercising on more individual level. The same thing goes for after-school programs for students with poor fitness, or by setting fitness target scores using interactive reports. These are some examples of the videos you can actually find on the toolkit that can be matched and paired together with a group report to improve your specific physical education classes. But more importantly, it's just about like using your own experience. You do have your own physical education classes. It's just increasing a little bit more your portfolio, and you can do so by matching these two specific tools, the group report and also the toolkit from the FitBack. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let us know on the chat. And that will be all for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joao. Just on time. So usually it is our most difficult thing to keep within the time limits, but in this sense, I can congratulate all our speakers so far that I have really have no job to do here. So thank you one more time. However, our next speaker will be from Belgrade, and she's from primary school, Zmajova Jovanovic. Hopefully pronouncing it all right. And she's a PE teacher, and she will now give her experience on how she has been using this toolkit and what are the good and maybe some bad things also, or concerns. So please, Anna, we are ready to listen to you.
Dear colleagues, warm greetings from Belgrade. Do you see my presentation yet?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my name is Ana Rajic. I am PE teacher in Zmajova Jovanovic, Belgrade, Serbia. I will speak about implementation of cardiorespiratory fitness scenario in my school. My students participating in these projects are age 13 to 14 years, both sexes, and there are in total 58 of them. The teacher who works with them have 25 years of work experience, and that would be me and my dear colleague Pejovic Vladimir. Before testing, students were briefly introduced to the FitBack platform. We planned 8 classes during which the cardiorespiratory fitness scenario is elaborated with students. We also had one theoretical class, as you can see in this picture. In particular, we also had one English lesson included in our intervention in school. Well, the testing was in the month of October. The 20-meter shuttle run test was conducted in only one class because our students are familiar with that test. It is the part of national battery test in Serbia for more than 12 years. After completing the SR test, students who are usually first in all cross-country events from the first grade showed the best results as we expected. And also we used those results from tests and we selected students for the athletic competition. They were more than happy to be a part of school athletic team. The students were instructed and tasked to enter the results on the FitBack platform at home and receive an individual report. I have to explain that theoretical knowledge and development of that cognitive domain of physical literacy is very important task for PE teacher, important task for me too. So I asked my children to do that individually. They came back with that results, and the results were analyzed regarding which zone they are located in. Based on the results, the students were divided into similar groups. A special theoretical class was held with a group of students who had the lowest results on the tests. I simply have to explain that I needed that class with the group. Those were the kids that they are not sport type kids, and I wanted to encourage them to practice more, to eat better, to sleep better, to practice in school and outside the school. I wanted them to encourage to grow up with some better, healthier lifestyles. Application of scenario in the English class, interdisciplinary approach in teaching, learning about cardiorespiratory fitness and English language at the same time. Why? When they came back with the individual report, I simply asked them, did they understood everything? How was the surfing through the platform? I wanted their feedback to me. And they said that they found the Serbian subtitle. And they said they don't need the Serbian subtitle. Well, I was a little bit curious. I didn't know the level of their English understanding. So I asked my colleague, English teacher in the school, to check the level of understanding. We had that one interdisciplinary class, and he said that they are really okay, that they do understand. So some students used original videos in English. Furthermore, the activities we conducted as a group activity in the class were dancing step aerobics and the lighter type of Tabata training. Boys, of course, prefer Tabata training. 1 minute after the activity, students measured the pulse. They learned about the heart rate. By the end of the December, they have already learned in which zone they are and whether they should increase or decrease the intensity of their activities. In the classes where there was gymnastics, sport gymnastics, and also because it is the winter period, the students are warmed up by using shuttle run test with music, somewhere up to level 5, not more. Students were also given advices and suggestions for physical activities for individual exercises outside of the school. We haven't received feedback yet because the school semester was ending. We hope that we will have soon that feedback. And that would be all from Serbia. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Anna, for giving the interesting feedback of what has been done on the food toolkit in Serbia. And we have come to our last speaker before we can open the floor of the discussions or questions. And the last speaker comes from Jyväskylä. He's Associate Professor Kasper Salin. And he will give a small overview how to supply the toolkits in different languages. So please, Kasper.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jarek. So I will show you very briefly how you could add your own language to the toolkit videos. At the moment, there is already 15 different languages in the videos. The videos are in English, but you can add your subtitles quite easily. And if you go to the some of the videos in the FitBack Toolkit, you can see the video as a YouTube form, and in the very in the right corner you can see the settings, and in the settings you can change the subtitles for your languages. If you don't have, if there's no your languages, it's quite easy to add your own languages. So what is needed, it is possible to get the subtitles free of charge. It's a kind of service for FitBack network. And what is needed is the Google account, and then you need a subtitle editor access in YouTube Studio, and this is granted by FitBack Webmaster, and approximately 2 hours of careful check of IE translated texts. If you want to add your own languages, you need to send a request of a new language for the subtitles. You can see the email address here, and you will receive feedback with detailed instructions and access to edited feedback videos. I have used by myself these instructions, and I found it quite easily to add the languages. And if you do not have the Google account, you need to generate your Google account and then sign in to the YouTube Studio. And in the YouTube Studio, you need to change the account for the FitBack subtitle editor. And after that, it will generate for the video, you have to choose the IE translation of subtitles with new languages. And you need to carefully check the language and improve this if needed by manually. But it was working for Finnish quite well. So for bigger languages, it might be working even better. Here you can see the YouTube Studio. In the right corner, you can see that what is the account that you are signed in. So you need to make sure that you are signed in as a FitBack subtitle editor. And when you are signed in, then you will see all the videos like here. You can see that there are different videos that have 14 to 16 languages in these videos. And you don't have anything else access to the videos, so you can only add the subtitles, as you can see in the left side. Here's one example of video. You will select the video and will add what kind of language you would like to add. And then there will be an editing tool as a new window where you can add the subtitles. You can do this by yourself manually, but I would encourage you to use the auto translation because it makes the job much easier and faster. And you can still edit the auto translate, so you can fix all the mistranslations. This is the one video. You can see that there's some languages translated to Finnish, and you can easily see the language at which point of video it is going and what kind of what's the original language. You can hear it and you can edit the subtitles in this way very easily. And when all this translation has been done, you have carefully checked every step. It is just then adding the publish from the right corner, and then all is ready. So this is very easy to translate the videos for your own languages. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kasper. And we have now come to the end of the presentations from our side, and we can now open the floor for the questions if anybody has. So I see that in the chat there has been quite a lot of questions, but most of them have also been answered. But before that, my first idea was that we will take some of those questions that might raise a little bit bigger interest and give the answer here as well. But as I currently see that Gregor has hand raised, so I will give the first speak to Gregor. So please, Gregor.
Yeah, thank you, Jarek. I would just like to explain a little more about the ANA presentation. So we didn't actually explain that currently we are conducting this let's say FitBack Toolkit intervention in 9 European countries, and Belgrade is one of the countries and one of the towns where we are now piloting this toolkit. So there is an international learning community of teachers right now which are using this toolkit, and they are also exchanging these practices. We already have had one international meeting, while we also have regular national meetings, and this is also one of, let's say, good practice how teachers can share their experience. This is also associated with the with one of the question of probably I will not pronounce correctly, but I guess it's Jaime or Jaime. How can psychological or motivational aspect of physical literacy could be addressed with physical fitness testing? We don't have like answers on all questions and recipes for all the kind of situations that we are facing in PE. However, teachers can find also some good ideas and solutions within these videos that we have. But specifically on this question, I would say that it's not necessary that this testing of shuttle run should be done in front of all classes. Namely, also when we are having this video about providing safe environment on fitness testing, we are also having over there one note that, for instance, anthropometrics should be measured in more intimate space. The same approach could be applied also, for instance, for some testing. So not having exposed those kids who are really in poor fitness to all of them. So it's up to teacher how he or she will provide this testing environment. And of course, this is associated with also cultural environment. So I would advise those teachers who have this kind of kids to be very sensitive on this. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Gregor. I would also like to highlight maybe some of the questions that were in the chat and maybe got a little bit answered, but just to give another comment, maybe what about the testing and the biological age? How this can be accounted, or how it can be somehow, let's say, hacked with a FitBack platform. So, Gregor, is it you who would like to answer, or?
Yeah, I will,
okay.
because we are struggling with this in our SlowFit system, and over there we have a solution, but within the FitBack we don't have it. So, for instance, in SlowFit, based on the data that is collected, we can see if somebody is premature or post-mature, and we also have like this mark within our system for the teacher or parents. Your kid is maybe premature, and so this can be taken into account when also interpreting the data. However, in FitBack we cannot have this because we don't store the data, and we do not have also this information, so tracking the data. Therefore, each teacher is responsible to interpret the data based on her or his knowledge of this kit. So we don't have a solution on this currently within the FitBack.
Thank you, Gregor. Bojan is sharing the screen. Bojan, do you want to?
If I may add to this, this is kind of, we have some, let's say, some solution to this. So, for example, if if the student is his chronological age is 15 years, and you estimated that he's maybe, I'd say, 2 years biologically younger than his peers, you can kind of change his age to, let's say, from 15 years to, let's say, 13 years. That means 2 years younger, so that you, for example, change the birth date from 2010 to 2000 and 12. What's wrong? 2012. And then the age is recalculated, and then all the scores that you enter inside this entry form, for example, standing long jump, 1 to 2, is not evaluated according to 15 years old boy, but to 13 years old boys. That means 2 years younger. So his score will be better than at his real chronological age. Okay. But of course, you should have some idea how much younger he is. If he is 1 year or 2 years or maybe even 3 years.
Okay, so, thank you, Fran. I think Fran has also a comment here, so please, Fran.
Yep. Yeah, I wanted to mention about the biological age that I think what Bojan proposes is really, really good. If you feel that it's younger or biologically younger or older, just change the theoretical age into the real biological age. that's good. But I wanted to mention that any other solution much more precise, very difficult, because we don't have actually reference values based on biological age. So when you want to interpret it something very precisely, you need the reference values. We have reference values according to chronological age. Some studies have, of course, look at the influence, but there's no huge data sets across countries or something that we probably ever can have a really proper reference values based on which biological age measurement. So there are different measurements, and so I think we'll never get a perfect solution there. So Boyan presenting is the best. And this connect with another question we have got in feedback, that is what to do when you select gender, male or female. What if you don't feel binary gender? What if you feel something else, or transgender people? How to deal with this issue? And the answer is very similar to what Boyan said for the age. If you are, let's say, born biologically as boy, XY chromosome, but later either do transgender or feel like another gender, you can just click in the gender that you feel identify with. So if you want to compare how your fitness on being a girl reference values because you feel a girl, then you can do it in the platform. So it's up to the student or the teacher to select with which reference value you want to compare. But there is no reference values for, let's say, transgender or other categories apart from boys and girls. But yeah, the same that Boyan say can be also applied for this example.
Thank you, Fran. There is a question also from Annelies Gaia from, I think, from Brazil, and Gregor gave her a slight answer in the chat also. But I want to emphasize here also one thing that to Annelies, that the Excel file that Joao showed us in terms of how you can include the group report to FitBack. You can actually use your own tests there if you make an additional columns after the FitBack tests. So in this sense, you can also start to collect FitBack tests, and if you upload this Excel into the system, it will give you just the result on the FitBack tests. But you can, in this sense, you can incorporate both tests as already suggested by Gregor. But you can actually use the same Excel sheet if you want to use, and combine your tests and FitBack test if you want to use it in your own database. There was also one question related to the testing with the kids with a special education. So perhaps this can also be a little bit commented, maybe in this sense, whether the kid is having a special education or special needs, or maybe he's like disadvantaged. So does anybody want to have a comment on this? What about FitBack environment and in this sense?
Yeah, Jarek, if I can share.
Okay.
Yeah, I already answered on this question. So Boyan is now showing. We have one section over there about the how to include also other kids. We have one short manual on this that has been created by also according to the experience from our Finnish and Hungarian colleagues. They have a national monitoring system, and they are including also kids with special needs. So there is one document on this as well. Of course, there is one limitation because we are not providing some separate feedback for these kids. They can be compared only according to the centiles and also these cutoff values that are also for the whole population, and therefore it is vital that PE teacher explain them the feedback results, them and also to their parents. However, they can see their progress within this system as well, because if, for instance, currently they are in the 9th centile, and with some effort and exercise, they achieved, let's say, 12th centile. Of course, they are improving also when it compares to the peers from the general population. But this needs also special attention.
Okay, thank you, Gregor. I think we have now gone through all the questions that are in the chat. Are there anybody who would like to ask a question at the current moment? So just raise your hand, and I hope I will notice, or at least Zoom notices it also on my screen. So far, I would just want to make a comment also to all the participants and thank also them on the most highlight, or in the most highlight way. There were 123 participants, as I saw, actually. So it was, I think it was quite a lot, and thank you all for being here. Okay, there is one question. Have you had any pushback from teachers, especially from the secondary schools? This is an issue we experience in the UK. So perhaps, I think some colleague from Slovenia, Gregor.
Yeah, we are currently, because this toolkit is especially oriented to teachers of higher grades. So currently we are implementing this intervention, especially in secondary schools. So yeah, we have a now experience for secondary schools across the 9 countries, and we have a really good feedback from teachers as well as also students. So we are quite positive on this, that it can be achieved. Of course, not all kids are really enthusiastic, but when it comes to fitness monitoring, it's really establishing step by step right environment. So this testing or assessing should be final step of the process. So they should be included from the early beginning, and this is explained in this toolkit, how to intrigue them, that they would also co-design sessions which would be, let's say, devoted to fitness monitoring, as well as introducing physical literacy phenomena. So we cannot establish this also trust with kids on this topic from the first class. So it took time to do this.
And maybe some experience from Estonia. We have been thinking or talking about establishing also fitness monitoring here, and it was partly related with our new PE curricula, and also teachers were involved of designing this curricula. And when we started to talk about the fitness tests, at first there was also a big pushback, and in the first version of the curricula there was that fitness testing will be 3 times only during the, let's say, during the 9-year during the secondary school. And if some teachers already started testing by themselves, I think it has taken a little bit like 3 or 4 years now when teachers are doing tests. We don't have this national system yet, but teachers are testing. And currently there is a clear vision already that most of the teachers agree that this kind of testing is needed each year, and it does not take so much time, and it's much more easier for kids to give the feedback and yeah, just give them the idea about the fitness. So it's just again a little example how the initial pushback can be like reversed when there are good examples and the teachers are sharing them. So there is a question also, the hand raised. Ivan Müller, please.
Yeah, hello, colleagues. I'm impressed, yes, of your very high level and excellent project initiatives. Just wanted to do a comment, not a question, and just saying that we from Switzerland, but also our colleagues from South Africa and Namibia might be interested to contribute also with data. And yeah, and then of course we follow your instructions and the guidelines, and we are just in trying to setting up a project according to your excellent pre-work you have done in other countries.
Thank you very much for those kind words. Gregor has again hand raised.
Yeah.
You see the question you
yeah,
answer that?
I would like to reply on this offer. Thank you, Ivan. However, currently we will not collect new data. This was actually tremendous effort. Jarek was also heavily involved since actually he led the work package with a friend. So probably we will wait for some years, and then we will probably update these fitness norms because this is really huge job to perform. But thank you. We will remember, and next time we will collect the data. We will contact you as well as other scientists across the Europe. Thanks.
Jared, if I might comment further on this,
yes.
Our colleague Grant Hopkinson is in Australia. He's also working at the moment in some not only European reference value, but also like international, gathering all existing data, updated data. So this is a work in progress, systematic review process, and I say Prosper already published the protocol. So it's something we are working on it, and in the future we will have also some international reference values more updated, including more recent data. So yeah, I think things will come in the future, and at some point the information in the platform could be updated. I don't know, or make it or even not only European, but it could have a section for international, but that depends on future projects and developments.
Okay, maybe Fran, you can also, I think you would be a good one to answer the question from David Sanchez Olivia, who is indicating that if the physical fitness level is decreasing with the kids, how might this decrease impact, or how much the decrease in fitness will impact those cutoff points that currently FitBack platform has?
Yeah, well, I think this is related with what I said before. I think that we had this double feedback. One is the reference values and the health related. In theory, health related cut points not necessarily should change because it's certain levels of fitness that they, let's say, are pathologically related with diseases. So it might be the same. If people are getting lower fitness, we have a bigger problem, as it happened with obesity, and we have a longer way to reach a healthier fitness. But
it looks like we lost Fran.
Yeah, perhaps, but I think he.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I
want
can
to add something.
Yeah, I can reply on this. So, lowering general fitness would not affect the cutoff health-related points. However, of short would affect the position of somebody within the population. That's why, of course, we will try to collect the new data and provide up-to-date fitness norms. Currently, we know that there are some weaknesses because this data that was collected is in big range of years. More recent data probably will be collected in, let's say, shortened period. maybe just for 1 decade or something like that. But like a friend said, currently this would not affect the feedback.
Okay. I think we can actually start to conclude from here. Oh, there is a question posted or a comment.
Yeah, by Stephanie.
Yes, Stefan. I think it's a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of course, it's to go back.
This is thank you for this comment. So yeah, originally when we started the project, we didn't have in mind also including chatbot in our solution. However, this development was so fast that we wanted to try to address this issue. And I'm really glad that we also have created this animation, which is also educational for kids. So what are the weaknesses? What are the limitations when it comes to using chatbot? And we believe also that this part should be developed further. For instance, in the meanwhile, at least 2 major chatbots have been launched. So probably we will have to really update this one. And we believe this is also some kind of the, let's say, challenges, good ones, how this could be improved. So how we could use even more, and this information could be even more in depth using reliable sources for these advices. Currently, these sources, of course, are generated by these language models, and behind these language models, sometimes it's not really the right content.
Okay. Bojan, do you want to have a quick comment here or not? Or you just showed the screen?
Stress that there are already 2 topics about the artificial intelligence use in the context of exercising and fitness.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, the time is ticking up, and thank you very much. That actually this discussion part also increased to a half an hour period. So really, I'm really thankful for that. One more time, I would really like to thank all the participants who were there and gave the input and asked the questions. However, we would also like to have a little feedback from you. So please click on the screen, and there is a short survey in terms of the webinar. And I also would like to thank all the presenters here. And yeah.
Jarek, if I can add 1 sentence to this survey. This survey is more if participants perceive that this reporting could be used also for some vulnerable groups. This is the question. So because you want to include them as well. So this is the main aim of this survey, and we would really like to receive this information from participants. And also thanks from my side. I believe this webinar was really successful.
Okay, thank you, Gregor. And yes, I have nothing more to say than one more time, really great big thanks from all who were there, and from the organizing side also, great thanks. And yeah, we just have only Friday left before the weekend. So have a nice day, have a nice Friday, and have a nice weekend. And let's keep it also. So bye-bye.